Here's your international boy, DJ Skizzy.
Chai! Yeah, this goes through. Okay, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show, the whole summary of the week's event. This morning, I am going to get David, as usual, how we do it, and then David will be giving us the whole summary of the events that has gone on, with the Wintermees assets in Ghana, some of the national assets which the country thought, you can't have these things in your will. As the fact that the special prosecutor has, decided to freeze all the assets of the late Sir John, if you want. These are some of the things we're going to talk about. So I'm going to see if I can get David, and then I'll link him up and to bring us the very current issues which we need to adapt to already existing ones. Then I'll come back to you. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. My name is Dr. Morton. This is a Friday edition of the News Summary. Good morning.
They call me Agaraya. They call me Agaraya. There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. And I step in at the place in the Maya. They call me Agaraya. They call me Agaraya.
I go get this money, I'm a day full of Barbados. Not too much to put to the gates. We only no car, I'm a need like a big boss. Don't pass around the airport, the no Lagos. So she fit a little fit a draft. Fit a PlayStation for money crankshaft. Money in the bank, never was, never will. I'm a toba no show, the brother only skill. I get the money, I get the cash. You get the baby, you get the ash. You like to put all the time. I like to keep up as it's alright. I get the money, I get the cash. You get the baby, you get the ash. I like to pick it back so it's alright.
There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. And I step in at the place in the Maya. They call me Agaraya. They call me Agaraya. There's somebody like me, there's somebody like me. And I step in at the place in the Maya. They call me Agaraya.
All right, so let me see the topics that I've actually written down to discuss this morning, as I know most of my listeners know about the topic we discussed. Okay, so first is EU agrees to ban 90% of the Russian oil imports by the end of the year. And then we have the government to cut salt for 32 TVET centers to boost industrialization. And then finally, we have special prosecutor freezes all assets of the late Sir John. These are some of the things we're going to talk about. So make sure you join us. You don't go anywhere. Any of the things you want to talk about of these three topics, we'll be talking about them.
Program just pop in it. Yo, have a good time, girl. Free up on the mind, kind of body can't this man won't let it. You are the number one, girl. Wave your hand, make them see the way. Sexy ladies,
Yeah,
come
this
power with us.
photo.
In the car with us, them now war with us. In the club, them want flex with us. They get next to us, them now vex with us. From the day my band type, like my flame. Can I call my name and it is my fame? It's a good girl, turn me on till the early morning. Let's get it on, let's get it on till the early morning. Girl, it's all good, just turn me on. Come on, get busy. Just say that booty non-stop when the beat drop. Just get swinging it, get jiggy. Get drunk, up, percolate. Anything you want, forgot it, oscillate it. If I don't take pity, want to see you get live when the rhythm is a ride. And my lyrics are about electricity. Y'all nobody can tell you nothing, cause you don't know your destiny. Yo, sexy ladies want power with us. In the car with us, them now war with us. In the club, them want flex with us. They get next to us, them now flex with us. From the day my band type.
Listen, my body before me. Listen, my body before me. Listen, my body before me. You go to do me. Listen, my body before me. You go to do me. When you make a body crack, crack, crack. Triple M in the game. Triple M in the girl. Call me a money in the game. That's what we call it the name. Triple M in the game. Triple M in the girl. Call me a money in the game.
Hello? Yes, sir. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I could hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me, David?
Good morning. I can hear you. You?
Yeah, David. Can you hear me?
I could hear you.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. Initially I couldn't, but I think I can hear you now. Anyway, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, we're not too bad. We're in quaint celebration of
Oh, I see.
the bank holiday. Yes, and I was Ghana.
Oh, okay. Ghana is fine. We are still in the for better fair. A struggle to have our aspirations as a people met. The struggle to bring food prices down for those who are finding it difficult to afford to at least have a square meal a day. The struggle to create jobs for the unemployed. The struggle to ensure that the chronic corruption that has engulfed our country is reduced or removed totally. struggle to have liberty to speak and to contribute to our national development by all.
Right.
And many other struggles we are fighting every day.
Okay. You must have read about what I sent to you last night. The topics concerning Sir John's assets, that.
Right. I haven't read what you sent.
Okay.
But I'm familiar with issues of Sir John, and not only Sir John. Sir John's is just a tea in a cup.
Okay.
Or in an ocean.
Right. It's the government to cut short for the 32 TVET centers to boost industrialization. You must have heard of that as well.
I have heard about it. I've heard about it.
Okay. So anything that has cropped up this morning or any latest development you want to share with us until we delve into the already existing events?
Well, basically, I'm sure you're aware that life is getting more difficult here every day for many. And there are issues that are coming to the fore that is making many of us believe that we shouldn't be where we are, but for the greed of a few. And so some of the youths are teaming up. They want their voices to be heard. They are beginning to speak truth power. They are willing to carry demonstrations to drum home their concerns. And this has culminated into demonstrations which have been lined up. One is intended for the 4th of June. And in fact, there's a group called Arise Ghana, which is made up of different groupings of Ghanaian youth and some political parties. They have expressed their intention to hold demonstration for 48 hours non-stop, which has been communicated to the police administration. I have seen documentation, a correspondence somewhere where the police were saying that they could not provide security for the demonstration for the 48 hours being requested. And also police attempting to change the routes for the demonstration. So these are but a few of the thorny issues around liberty issues and the right to protest, the right of every Ghanaian to protest what they believe is their concern legitimately. And I think that this group had, I saw another correspondent yesterday where the group had responded to the letter of the police saying that the police have no right to suggest to them that they could not provide security for a 48-hour demonstration, and that the demonstration is a peaceful one, intended to be a peaceful one, and that required no sophisticated security. There was also they also said that the police could not be changing their routes because the police made a reference in their correspondence that the group need to stick to the traditional routes, and the group retorted that they could not, they were not aware of any traditional routes for demonstration. As far as they are concerned, the law requires them to inform the police about the demonstration and, where possible, have the police to guard the demonstration. So if the police could not tell them that they have reservations about the routes to use and could not be choosing routes for them. So clearly there is what's the name? A standoff between the police and the demonstrators, so far as the correspondence between them is concerned. But I do believe, as a bystander, that they ought to be given the air to breathe out. The demonstrators ought to be given the space to breathe out. It is good for democracy, and of course, it is good for the development of our country. I think that the police must find every means possible to provide the necessary structures they need for a successful, peaceful demonstration. I think that is what is required of the police. But in all this, I also think that they must all do everything they are doing within the framework of the law to enable us sustained peace after they express their concerns. Well, my brother, what I've seen happening in the rush by the special prosecutor to freeze assets is what I would call a knee-jerk reaction. You recall, for instance, that when the matter came up, the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, Abujina, said that the government or his ministry was setting up a committee to investigate the matter. After discarding the leaked will. He said that it is not possible that they have not sold the Achimota forest to anyone, so it could not have been possible that it would be in somebody's will. Then he said that they were going to investigate it. And one wonders what powers the minister had in investigating somebody's will. What I think we as a country were interested in was that the land that belonged to the state was not given to some individuals, with impunity. That was what we were interested in. So, yes, there is also a document that suggests that the government has released the land, the forest, to the family, and that they have released it to be sold. Now, if government has done that, then that is what must be investigated. Don't forget, we are being told that long ago, about 118 of that acres of that land were released to the family, the Owu family, which is also in controversy as we speak. But the land, that 118 was released, allegedly released to the family, and that the family then become a lessor of that 118 acres of land, and therefore may have leased it to some individuals or companies. That is another matter to look at. But the other one is where the minister in the EI made by the president in releasing the rest of the land, the forest, says that the minister was the go-to or was the person to give a permit for the sale of the land, which means that the government had allocated to itself the right to sell the state land to individuals. That is where the problem was. And people are saying that, look, government cannot be selling government lands even if it was an EI. Now, that is where the special prosecutor comes in. The prosecutor's work is to find out who are the beneficiaries of state land being sold. If, for instance, the minister is selling that land to a company in which he is interested in, we will call out a conflict of interest situation. We will find out, for instance, how much is an acre being sold and who determined the
price for the sale of that land? Is it the minister who is going to do that so much? Is it the certain board, the forestry board? How is the land going to be disposed of? How do we prevent, the grabbing of that land by cronies and friends? That is where the special prosecutor would come in to establish whether indeed, first, after the president has the right to issue any EI. But if he does that, it must be conscionable. It must be out of moral. It must be in the interest of the state. So if the EI is in the interest of the state, so be it. But beyond being in the interest of the state, who are the ones who are benefiting from the purchase of this land? What was the intention? If the intention for releasing this land was influenced by personal interest, that is where the special prosecutor is. Now, if you go to seize Sir John's asset because the will of Sir John has been put out there, then you are doing a lazy work, because there are many people who may have acquired this land who haven't died yet. And it may only be after their death that we'll see these lands being allocated to somebody. So the special prosecutor is doing a lazy work. I have had some conscious reliability on what the special prosecutor is doing at this moment. And so because his appointment as a special prosecutor, I found a bit awkward. His work, his relationships, and all that makes it look a bit awkward for me. And so, but I decided to give it the benefit of the doubt and hope that with his pedigree in law, he would do the best to discharge the best that is required of the office. As I am sitting here watching him and what he's investigating, I'm privy to a few. What is going on, I can't but only be worried about how he's going to handle this office of special prosecutor. Because, I mean, this issue of seizing or freezing St. John's asset, we haven't gotten there yet. There must be justification for it. There are many people who we know. If you ask people around who can point to you that this person is acquiring this property, this person minister is acquiring this property. We are aware, for instance, about 29 or 19 of the present ministers who by law are required to file their assets, to declare their assets prior to taking office, have not done that. And we are only being told, and indeed, we know that the electoral commissioner, it was just recently, he has to be taken to court for her to Shraj, I guess. Shraj, she was before Shraj before going to file her asset. And that is not the requirement of the law. So things are being done, with impunity. And it looks like the special prosecutor may just be interested in using his office to wash the corrupt activities, the very activities that we are expecting him to come and help us prevent. It looks like he's just going to use his office to wash some of these things. If that happens, then we are in for a bigger trouble, because if we were without a special prosecutor, we know these crimes have been committed. If one day we wake up on the right side of our bed and we have a good leadership who are determined to do the right thing and hold people accountable, they may pick these issues up. But if you have a special prosecutor and the law is there, he's rather using the law to wash corruption, then we are in for trouble. That is my little concern about this. Because there are a lot. Look, if you go to a cantonment, if you go to Laboni, if you go to Ridge, state lands have been sold to political operatives. They have been sold, the benefits have gone to political operatives instead of the government. The special prosecutor is aware. If he's lucky not to be a beneficiary, he's aware. We should start seeing the prosecutor going after those people and not waiting for somebody's will to emerge before he start throwing out, issues out there that he's freezing people's assets. Well, I haven't seen any legal ground yet, but I am tempted to believe that it's just window dressing the issue. Yes. And I'm very much convinced about what I think on this. How can it okay, let me clear that part. A dead person is the only one whose will is legitimate. If you make a will until you die, the will look, the point is that Sir John is dead. The dead men don't talk. So even if we are able to identify that indeed Sir John actually acquired those assets, all we can do is to, within the law, if we say we are reversing those assets back to the state, because one, the state was not supposed to sell it in the first place, then everybody who have benefited from purchasing this land would have to return it. Okay? It is not only because John has died and so cannot contest the repossession of the asset by the state, that's why we will go there. It should be that the assets ought not to have been acquired in the first place. And so, be dead or alive, you must revert the assets back to the state. That is one. Secondly, we are aware that the Achimota Forest alone is not what Sir John acquired. If you go to the Ramsia side, around the Sakumono beach area there, where, that land has been declared as a Ramsia by the UN as a Ramsia site. If you want to educate your listeners a little about what Ramsia site is, it is very important for not only the ecology of lives around it, the bird, the water bodies and stuff, but also for the survival of the human being. But this property, this land, have also been sold, and not only to Sir John. I know a few ministers who have bought this land and have built on them. The special prosecutor cannot say he doesn't know some of these things for his pedigree. So I am only cautioning that we should not be, swift to be concentrating on Sir John because he is dead. There are people who are alive whose land must not only be retrieved, but they must be punished for the conflict of interest situation. Now, did I hear some of our colleagues who joined Occupy Ghana a few years ago to ensure that the wrong that were going on stopped and that a new government comes in power, are now saying that, they're more gini on the inco. Now, I can't in a yambo home by. Now, even the Akano has become problematic because they are not able to give us data on who has acquired what land, what has been acquired, and what price was paid for it. If you, in Cantonment, I have seen situations where individuals were sold state bungalows. I'd say about 200,000. They end up selling it in millions of dollars. Okay? And pocket the money. If this is not evil, what else is it? And state ministers who are telling us that the country is broke, that we need to pay e-levy to help the country regain its economic strength. They are the ones buying these assets at 200 cedis and selling in millions and pocketing the money. They are forcing the state institutions to sell the property to them and their pseudo companies. And I think we should all be talking about this and be concerned because, look, if tomorrow you graduate from where you are, the media work, and you decide to come back home and find yourself a place to live, the people who will be taking over the cantonments, which were state land, cheaply, even though we are paying them salaries, we are paying all the benefits they need and making them live as comfortable as, the Queen may not even find. They are still, grabbing these properties. And you come down here and you see yourself living in some village, okay? Then they'll tell you, because there's no asset, they'll take over the city. Because there's no place to even, you cannot even, pay for stores or offices. They've taken over those places. You are forced to put out some containers somewhere, and they'll come and tell you that you are putting illegal structure somewhere. The poor whose power they are using to do all this, they are pulling down their containers on the street. Some of them are living in these containers. They are not providing houses that they can even live in. They can put their head after all the day's troubles. The rich people, the so-called rich people, the people powerful, they are acquiring all this and do these structures that they don't even live in. Living in Accra has become expensive. Yet there are houses that have been built, some on state land, and they are not living in. All they bought it for was 200,000 Ghana cedis. And they are selling it in the millions and pocketing the money. This is pure corruption, pure evil, and shameful. My brother, so long as we belong to a democracy, we can talk about it. Some people may go to court and ask that the court does the right thing. We have seen this before when in the Mr. Woyome case, where the state asked that some monies that were paid Woyome, and controversially should be reverted back to the state. Okay? And you see, the law we appear to be applying the rules of this state, the laws of this state selectively. And that in itself is a problem. Because the very people who were singing Woyome yesterday are the people who are grabbing the state assets, the state properties. So we can but only talk about it if the court found it necessary to ask that women's assets be retrieved. I am confident that even if not this particular court, a court will come someday that will see reason in doing the right thing.
Yes.
So as a media people, you and I, we are talking about it. We believe that 2 or 3 Ghanaians or more are hearing it on your session. Right.
Look at what is happening now. I think they say the minority is crying wolf, where there is none John Kuma on 225 million Ghana cedis released for National Cathedral. See?
Well, he claims that the minority is a crying wolf.
Yes. It's crying wolf. Yeah.
What it means is that there is no need to be concerned about the
25 million. Yes.
25 million.
I mean, this is another area the government or every concerned citizen also seems to be much concern that look at this huge amount of money, you know.
Look,
So
there is no evidence, no no evidence than what we are seeing this government do, demonstrating recklessness in handling state affairs. The government has demonstrated on countless occasions that it is reckless, and reckless because, I think we have spoken about this some time and again. When this cathedral is being built, was a place that we had state facilities at. The old passport office was at that place. The castle annex was at that place. There were bungalows there that judges were occupying. There were facilities there that the state were state safe houses for various activities. All these things were pulled down to enable the cathedral to come into place. Now, what business has a state in paying 25 million for a cathedral, a church to be built? What business has the state got to do with it? What business has the state got to do with it? We are talking here about people, unemployment. Yesterday, the national statistician, Dr. and now Professor Enim, has said that the unemployment rate in Ghana today is about 49%. So you have a country where unemployment is 49%. Your graduates are coming out from school and not getting any job to do. Businesses are collapsing because of the cost of maintaining those businesses. People cannot afford 3 square meals a day. Yet you decide to go and put 25 million, not in a factory somewhere, to give jobs to the jobless, to go and build church. I mean, what sense can you attribute to such a person? You know, without sounding disrespectful, what sense can you attribute to a person who does that? Person you are paying, you have pledged to support all his privileged lifestyle. Take this decision. I mean,
now I find another.
Dr. Muche.
I've signed another interesting story concerning Papa Kwesi Ndum. So it's getting very interesting, especially when I look at some of these news. I mean, I don't understand what is happening. The story about Papa Kwesi Ndum here says that. Now let me read it to you. The man, it says, a court of appeal upholds BOG application, that is BOG application, to refer Ndum's case to arbitration. Now, the Court of Appeal has referred the case between Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum and other versus the Bank of Ghana to the Court of Arbitration. Now, then its lead story, apart from that, is the appeal court on the 2nd of June 2022, by unanimous decision, upheld the Bank of Ghana application that the challenge Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum and others against the Bank of Ghana's revocation of the license of GN Bank be referred to arbitration. Have you read anything related to that?
I have not, but I can speak to it.
What do you
The
have
fact
to say?
is that
yes, so that
many
11 o'clock,
more-
I'll open the lines for my callers. Yeah.
Many more of the banks which have been, recklessly collapsed by the government may have their time in court sooner than later. If I can recall the little memory I have of companies law, it is that companies are separate from any individual, separate legal entity. So the company is separate from the people who made the company. So if in the worst case scenario, you are saying that directors of the company may have done A, B, or C, that could not have led to collapsing a whole company. Talk less a bank which has financed different activities of government, had invested in government contract. Contractors get jobs, they go to this bank and get loans. These loans belong to individuals who have deposited their money in those banks. And this money is given to contractors. Government has not paid the contractors for the contractors to pay back the bank, for the bank to give back the depositors' money to them and with interest. Government chose to collapse the bank. Okay?
Yeah.
Forgetting about even, the people who have been employed by those banks, that is the top class recklessness.
And so for those of you who feel the bank is, masterminding the activities of like Papa Kwesi Nduom regarding any bank affairs, it's just a sabotage of the government. You think, is that why you term it as recklessness?
I'm saying that I have just narrated to you how reckless this whole decision and acts have been. You are thinking about people who have been employed. The other day, I heard a chief said that, look, there is no bank close to us. The only bank was GN Bank. You closed it down. So my people have had to be saving money in their Isuzu buses. Okay? So the downwards, effect, the larger effect of closing down the bank. But I'm saying, even conscientiously, if somebody has established a bank, the bank, this is how the bank survive. They take deposits from depositors and invest in businesses.
Okay.
Now, crescently, some of these businesses happen to be government businesses. Government has awarded road contract to somebody. The person doesn't have the money. They go to the bank for mobilization. The bank can give them this money, and they will have to pay interest on it when they are paid by government. So these banks give the loan to the contractors. Government hasn't paid the people so that they can adequate and be able to pay depositors' money, sometimes with interest to them. The government got up and said that you are supposed to have this capital. And because you can't raise the capital, I am closing the bank down. The bank is being owed money by persons who are owed by government. How evil can the government actors be?
Oh dear. It's a shame.
I mean, do you see it?
It's a shame.
So conscientiously, it doesn't make sense. And it's like putting nail in the heart of a dead man. This is what the government have done. And the actors who sat down and thought about this and thought it was the best thing they could do as a way of managing governance, I'm sorry to say, they did not think out of their box. And so I'm saying that every bank, any of the banks which have been shut down, if they like, they will have their turn in court. The appeals court could not have said anything better than asking that to go to arbitration, because Bank of Ghana cannot pay a compensation that will be demanded by GN Bank. We don't have the money. So we are going to be paying for the reckless decision of some people if it comes to be after the arbitration.
You see, so this requires that Papa Kwesi Nduom's lawyers have to be very tough to be able to deal with issues like this. Otherwise, I see a government that does not seem to be, be brought to order, especially when he's messing about people's businesses when it comes to banking and that.
And that is even burdensome. Why would you put your citizens through this? The citizens are just trying to contribute their quota to the national development, but because you have power, you are deciding to use your power to bring everybody down. You are making the work difficult. How old is Papa Kwesi Nduom? I'm sure he will be getting close to 70 years.
I don't think so. But what I'm saying is,
what energy would he have to do this again?
I mean, regardless of the age, what I'm saying is that it appears as if this is dictatorialship way of sort of governance. If the government seems to be taking decisions that has just a little to do with whether we agree or not, but then so it becomes an issue of, well, I put down the laws. It's either you take it or you don't have a choice. It's that that's the state that this country has gotten to. Anyway,
it is not only dictatorial, it is evil. No, if you recall, a company like DataBank was almost running into what's the name? Bankruptcy. They were almost. If you know the book runners, those who know their books, they were almost running into bankruptcy. Today we are being told that DataBank have worth over 500 million and all that. They can survive. A company that was running into bankruptcy can have now be worth over 500 million, 1 billion. How couldn't DNA Bank and Co have made it?
Anyway, I can see how very disheartening you are. You've got about a couple of minutes. You want to wrap up. If you want to stay on the line, we having holidays here. I don't think most of my callers are busy. You can stay on the line. We can have a chat so they can call the other lines, or maybe if you're busy, you can leave us.
I wish I could. I think I'll find time and then we have a better conversation with your listeners. But this morning, I need to go ground some stuff to be able to get at least a square meal a day.
At least you don't have holiday in Ghana. We have. My CEO has got himself. Sorry?
Just wish me luck and let me go.
Guess what?
Tell me.
My CEO, instead of getting a cup of tea, he's gotten 2 bowls of kinky with bakushito and big tilapia. I don't think he's following the English breakfast concept. Instead of look at my cup of tea, I have got a tea here. He doesn't take chances at all. He wants a meal that will sustain him the whole day. Anyway, thank you very much, David.
I think it's a controversial way of celebrating the Queen's anniversary.
I'm not sure the Queen will be happy if so. He's hiding it instead of bringing it on Facebook for people to say. Anyway, thank you very much, David, for such an awesome contribution and the update. Anyway, so now we can call in, my listeners. Do have a good weekend. You can call the line as usual. I know most of my, my callers intend to call my line instead of the studio lines because that's when they can hold. But when somebody's busy on it, I'm really sorry you can't call. You can try these numbers unless it's the last resort that you can get through. You cannot get through these numbers. That is 0208 63 86239 or 075 33 99 8090. 075 33 99 8090 or 073 6540 2446 or 073 75 601574. So you can call in now. Give me your thoughts about what we've discussed. Barclays Indum's banking and its fight to bring it back to its feet. Whether it's a mere sabotage of the government, to the state where it's gone to, that appears as if it's hopeless. And then the government, the decision it takes, there's nothing anybody can do about it, because it would be in the right direction for an individual who wants to help in the production of a country regarding jobs or banking and all things like that. And so we're here. We'll take your calls and then we'll get into discussion. Good morning. You're still on Hits Africa Radio, where we give you nothing but the best ethics of the media. We inform you, entertain you. And then for those of you who tune in to listen to Gabby's interview, I've got another big shot coming your way, hopefully next weekend. And then we'll be talking. So Gabo saying he cannot access my Facebook. I don't know why. Yesterday, same thing. My brother Abbas Zigash also said he could not get through. Okay, let me send you the link again and see if you can do it. I don't know why, to be honest. Right. So the YouTube, I'm hoping my boss will send the link. Let me forward it. People find it difficult to find it. So if you can send it to me, let me send it to them. Okay. So if you want, you can get us on YouTube, on Hits Freak TV. You can try us on that one. I'm sure you'll be able to get it if you go to YouTube. Okay, so the topic for discussion this morning, David decided to add the Bakwesi Indum's banking problems together. But apparently, I've decided to talk about three particular things which I outlined last night, which was okay. So let me read about the things. Before I go on, I want to read what Sir Gabo has sent me this morning. It's very interesting. Okay, so if you want to be attentive and listen to me, it's that with regard to the freezing of Sir John assets, I am really shocked that somebody's private will and testament has now become a public commodity for consumption. Can someone's private property suddenly become a public good? Now, is it right for us to start leaking people's will in the public domain? Are we now saying that every Ghanaian and politicians will should become a football on the political playing ground for everyone to be kicking it around? As regards the contents we need to wait for the custom of the investigations. Okay, so we wait to see. Now, the continued imposition of sanctions of Russia by the NATO and its Western allies is rather worsening the tensions in Ukraine. The Russians are bombarding, destroying, and killing Ukrainians. How do we solve the conflict between Russia and Ukraine? We need more or diplomacy than sanctions. Then more I don't know what he's trying to say. He say the more we deter he's trying to write, the more people in Ukraine will die, and the more prices of gas and its related products go up, continuing the global inflation. Okay, so this is what Sir John Gabu writes. You can call in, as I said, and then I will pick your call. Let me see if I can get Chairman or Joe, who is on the line. I think they must be finding it difficult to get through, and then I can pick them up. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I am terribly good. Thank you.
I'm sure you, as a PPP, what David must have said in your case would be much more gutted than he is. Even as a lay person who has no affiliation with your party, PPP, finds it very difficult to understand the unfolding events regarding the government's treatments with the banking of Papa Kwesi Indom.
Sure, yes. We have struggled and struggled and struggled, and we keep struggling to get these bank licenses returned to Dr. Indom. And the government is getting uncomfortable with it and finding ways and means to keep their side of the story. And the fact is that even God knows that what they are doing is not good for Dr. Indom, not only Dr. Indom, but the people of Ghana. So many people have gone home unemployed up to now, since 2019, 18. They have gone home unemployed. And the MPP government has no way of even providing for employment for the people. But if a Ghanaian has given employment for thousands of people, and the government has come to close a bank and the people are home, then what is the government telling the people of Ghana? That's the greatest worry. This is not politics. Anybody who says it's a politics is not a true Ghanaian person. Dr. Morton, it's generally no good. Right now, the situation in our country is worse. And the country is driving towards a failed, F-A-I-L-E-D, failed state. A failed state is a state where the leaders are no longer able to perform and things are going down and they cannot rescue it. I'm talking as a Ghanaian, not as a politician. Things are going rotten. They cannot find solution. And the people, those of us who have got the brains to find solution to, we are not in power. And those of them who are in power, they are stifling the efforts of our party leaders, like Papa Kusindo. This is where we are at Dr. Morton. I don't know your position on the position of people who are listening to this message this morning. It is a big worry. Sometimes some of us cannot sleep. Dr. Indom has said it. He has said it that sometimes he cannot sleep, Dr. Indom.
Oh.
If you got this burden on your head, how can you sleep? You cannot.
Very sad.
Very sad. He cannot sleep, and it's true. If you were one individual, you are owed billions of pounds, your business has been crushed by a government because of political expediency, of course you cannot sleep. So when Dr. Indom said he cannot sleep, he told us, we all heard him about 3 years ago. It's very sad. So I'm urging serious Ghanaians to pray for Dr. Papa Kwesindom and his group that set up these banks that have been crushed by NPP because of political expediency. They have done it. And it's not Dr. Indom alone. Dr. Kwabena Dufo, he also had this bank, Unibank, that was also destroyed. And we are Ghanaian witnesses who unfortunately believe in God as well, to the extent that we are building a church that is going to be turned into a pigsty when the party, the NPP, is out of power. We are going to change it to animal home, animal farm, or old people's home, or people who haven't got anywhere to sleep. We use that. We don't need that church. We don't need that church. I'm a Christian. I've got my church already. My church was there before I was born. I'm a Methodist. There's no way I'm going to travel all the way to the corner of Accra to worship in that kind of church, which is ill-conceived. The blood on the hands of MPP, they are building the church with the blood on their hands there. They're not. People are starving. They're hungry. And you have got the money to build a church. For who to go and worship there? For Jesus Christ or for God to come in there? I am not sure God will come in there. So going to the point, we want a government that is concerned about the situation of Ghanaians so that we can find a better way forward. We are not fighting. We are not fighting. NPP and their people, they are still in the lands of Ghana. All the way from all the regions they come because of political expediency. And now they are going to Achimota Forest because they have eaten everything, chopped all the lands in Accra. People who are not even Ghana people who are not from Accra, from other regions, they come into Achimota Forest to scramble for land. To where? And the thing is that place is a forest reserve. It is a forest reserve. Right now, if it rains, look at the floods that come in. That's why we have to drive our attention to. We are not doing that. We are interested in Achimota Forest, where ghosts, even a ghost of St. John has got a property there. Even ghosts are struggling with the living for properties there. And the man is dead. He's got so many properties there. Why don't we remove all these properties from the families who have inherited them?
Gabo thinks that is private and personal, and then
No, it's not private. It's a thief, a ghost thief that is stealing the land of Ghana. Ghost, we have to chase even the ghost. A ghost, someone also our property. Those who are living. But in fact, that forest, it's not. It's supposed to be habited by human beings. Also, it's just a forest.
Well, so the man claims that this is no one's property is being delved into, like that of Sir John. Which the only problem is, I think there will be the reason we have public outcry because these assets are national assets. I'm sure that's why people are raising.
Of course, yes. And
I expect Gabo to know that. Why is he surprised?
It's not about Gabo. It's about the people who think about Ghana. Because the way the things are going, look at one official, Sir John, dead or alive. His position. What position do we give to him? Means of lands or whatnot. And he chopped all the lands in the Achimota Forest. The properties he has, which is published, not me, not NDC, not PPP, not CPP published it. It's published by the system. This man has got that kind of wealth. Did he have that before he came to power? No. Lawyer. How many people did he defend to get that kind of billions and billions of dollars? If you cost the properties this gentleman has had, not because I loved him so much. He was my idol when he was alive. I like the man. Do you understand? I didn't know that this is the story behind him. I loved him. I liked him, seriously. I'm not in his party, but I like him and Isidro Nkatia. I like strong people like that. But if this man, this gentleman, our brother, I'm not sure he's ready. He cannot afford to rest in peace in the first place. So I'm not going to say rest in peace. If he has amassed that kind of wealth just for being a lawyer, not a footballer, good grief. That kind of wealth, even a Kufuor cannot amass that kind of wealth for being a president for 2 terms. So being a forestry minister for God knows how many months or how many terms, he's got that money. The people of Ghana must question where our departed brother had the money to do that. Did he have that in his village before he came to Accra?
And so you agree with me that it appears as if we're dealing with a government that seems to be governing the country with a dictatorship way of governance, in the sense that whatever the public outcry concerning all these flights and the waste of resources, money with the private jets and all that, including these assets we're talking about, we don't seem to get the country being in a, checking the current government or in an accountable position to provide the reasons why it enacts certain laws and takes advantage of anything that benefits just the people involved than the people of Ghana.
Mr. Dr. Morton, you are right in this point expression.
Don't we have choice as people?
Yes, let me tell you, before we have choice, Ghanaians must know what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
On the fateful day, when Dr. Nkrumah was removed, Busia and Co had scripted what Kotoka would say because he didn't have that level of matured usage of English words on that fateful morning. Kwame Nkrumah is overthrown. It would be wrong to belong to CPP. And a lot of things. And they said that CPP was proscribed. It would be wrong to belong to CPP. Nkrumah was corrupt. So many corruption. That man had not got a personal house. The only house Nkrumah had was a council flat in Labone Estate. and which he reconstructed or renovated to accommodate a few women, a few ladies to come and live there and support the blind mother. Because the mother is a woman, he got about 4 or 5 women to live there and to look after this blind woman. You know that they can even wash her, they cook for her and stuff like that. That was reasonable. So he bought that one council flat. We know what a council flat is. It's not a posh house. The renovation to accommodate this lady, it's not a crime. That is the property Kwame Nkrumah had in Ghana. The other property he has was Flagstaff House, which they have not changed into Jubilee House. I don't know what there's a jubilation about. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's how any Ghanaian who is honest in the name of Christ Jesus should come and tell me Nkrumah had houses in Kumasi or whatever. No, he didn't. Look at this Sir John we are talking about him compared to Kwame Nkrumah. Sir John, who was he?
I think maybe
What?
when it's only the absence of certain personalities, maybe after they're dead and gone, before we would realize. As Chair Butcher said, John was alive, we couldn't see all these things. didn't come to
The
light.
Fantis say, I'll speak Fanti. I hope people can understand.
Yes.
Fanti say, Acheruwa, Yibo Hunitintin.
Hey.
Kokonere, Acheruwa, any you Hunitintin. You see, when a frog is alive,
Koko
So-
dini no
so-
kan kuku nini na.
I'm not sure it's is it Kokonere or whatever. A frog.
Anyway,
A frog.
yes.
When a frog dies, it stretches. Yes. If a frog is alive, you know, it doesn't stretch. But if it dies, it stretches the hands and the leg. Then you see that the frog is, if you measure it, maybe about 1 foot tall. Otherwise, if it's alive, it looks like
You can't see the height.
6 inches.
Anyway, so Felix
You
comes
understand?
in. I
So
do
when
understand, sir.
Sir John died and he gave the property to his family and friends, then we got to know how this man, this is what he had. But the question is, what job did he do to have this? And it comes to a very important point that declare your asset, Article 104, God knows what, according to the Constitution, declare your assets when you come into power, and declare your assets when you go out of power. Is it being practiced in Ghana? No. The only person who declared his assets before the election was Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom. He's the only one.
Okay.
All the flag bearers, he was the only
I've
one
got-
who did it.
I've got a message for Segabo. This is coming from Felix, another regular listener of this program. Sometimes he does it undertone, sometimes he comes live on air. He says, Segabo thing, it is a private and personal thing. How is this private? Stealing state property as now personal business. Indeed. In fact, Madam Nyaniba gave up that residence after Nkrumah's overthrow. Chairman, you want to respond to
That's
Felix?
that man is made a good point. I mean, how can you come? I have to be honest now. How can you come from Ashanti region or any other region into Accra for Ghana traditional people to come and acquire properties even in the forest when you are not even a Ghana person? I cannot go to Kumasi to a Ghana person can't go to Kumasi forest to acquire a lot of lands there.
Yeah, but if you have
No,
money and you go through the right process.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Where did you get the money? I was trying to make a point that Dr. Indom declared his assets before the 2012 election. When we formed our party, that man has got his own assets and all that. He declared that we know he's a businessman. Yeah, he's got properties, assets, and all that. He declared his assets. This is the genuine person we need in Ghana, and not those who have no assets to declare anyway. But when they come to Ghana, the government, they steal. And when they die, without even declaring them, now we know they got these assets. That is why my point is that even Nanado, our president, cannot have that level amount of assets within 2 terms, within 8 years in government as our boss of Ghana. He can't. So where did that man have that money? Did he not steal the money? He's a ghost thief. But Ghanaians, because we over worship God, we fear. We say, oh, that man is dead. Don't talk about the dead. I will talk about the bloody dead man. It's a thief, dead thief. I'm sorry. We've got to talk about dead thief. And I just say, we are near man, me woo, nobody a mum crofo. Gee, one Joe, say, one Jim, we are going to escape them the year, baby member. One Jim free member, after all, we are all human beings. So you see where he's going. That's why I've said in Ghana, we over worship our God. Just me too much. God doesn't like that level of worship. If you are all committed this, an all Roman Catholic or Anglican, Ghanaian, after Sunday worship, Monday is also another charismatic church. Tuesday also a better charismatic church, and so forth and so forth. Before he goes back to say, Ghana or saw some different churches, about 6 different churches a week. This is what I mean by over worshiping God. We are Roman Catholic. Follow the teachings of Roman Catholic principles, or Methodist, or Anglican, or Presbyterian. That is a Ghana, you can crowd say, Farmer Yami, but Yami doesn't like our rubbish. Number 2, also don't judge the dead. Just judge the dead. Don't judge people. Judge people. When that Bible says don't judge before, judge not because you will be judged. It means a spiritual order. It is a spiritual order that is, do not do the same thing, which you will criticize somebody of. So, if you know that stealing is not good, don't steal. That's what it means. But then, you are not judging anybody. According to reality, because all you're crying for, you can't say you are judging. If you are change the language to tree. If you want to talk about it, say you are judging. So what? What's the hell about judging? Let's judge. Let's say saying the truth is not wrong in the eyes of God. That's what God is there for all of us. So
now,
this
I was talking initially about what PPP is doing with its lawyers to battle this events about its banking and the entire sabotage in a holistic manner. How's the court case going? Are you solidifying your justification to prove to governments that is a mere sabotage and not a legal way of dealing with Papa Kwesi?
Absolutely. The lawyers, the NPP's own lawyer, Judge Ado, has ruled that the licenses were withdrawn illegally, and therefore they must return the license to Dr. Indom. But the game NPP is playing that they turn a blind eye to that important issue in their national interest. They are not doing it. And a poor man, I say a poor man, because how many of us can survive in that circumstances? Even somebody in his position will have committed suicide. This banking crisis, I know some customers have committed suicide because their money is locked somewhere. They cannot lay hands on it because the government has sat on it.
I just like say NAM1's issues.
Yeah, you see, and the finance minister, who is a relative of the president, for him, he's got his banking and financial institution system going perfectly. What do you think? I gave an interview yesterday live on television yesterday. Some people who don't understand, who are difficult to understand things. They say, Mr. Wilson, you are calling for a coup d'etat. What coup d'etat are you calling for? Mr. Vomayo or Baka Vomayo, sorry, I can't get his name right. That individual gentleman, he's a bold, brave guy. He says he will take arms and remove the government. He even condemn the kind of military.
That's a treasonable offense.
Yeah, excuse me. I mean, I'm just quoting him. I am not saying what he's saying is good. No, sir.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as a very serious.
Yes, yeah, of course, yes, because he's been bold.
Utterance.
Yes, a serious statement to make. But why is he making the statement? That's what concerning reasonable Ghanaians must think about. What I didn't think one casa. So yesterday, as a bit a very cool Ghana. And yesterday, we are condemn Ghana military. You say, hey, I go strong.
I think
He's frustrated.
I'm beginning to believe in the military regime, in the sense that, not because the guns and that, but at least with that, there's a bit of a order, and people can't mess about like that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, honestly, we don't want anybody to make such a statement, but we have to find out why is that person making such a statement. It means there's something wrong. What is wrong? What
Okay.
is wrong? Because see, the government is not ruling us properly. In the end, they give us promises they cannot
Please hold
honor.
it. Hold it. When Chairman Yosen finished, then I'll pick your
You
call.
see, 2016 promises were excellent. That is why NPP won the power. Now the question is that, have they been able to deliver all the promises that women demand in 2016 now? They have not done so. They have not done so, but for God's sake, they have not done so. Now they change one district, one factory to a cathedral for the nation. And Kintampo is the center of Ghana. It's a correct place. Atebubu or Kintampo is the right place to build a church for the nation or a mosque for the nation if you are serious, but not a corner of Accra. You are going to build that and you think God is going to come there. No, we are not going to have God there.
Okay, Chairman, I've got a caller. If he's not gone, if I can have him here, he's gone. Okay, no problem. Try. Let me see if I can get him back. If you want to land and come back, because the line is getting
okay. I want to learn.
now.
All I want to say is that Ghanaians, let us open our eyes and think. If you are honest, if people insult governments, then they listen. They don't do the right thing until some people like Chinini Jonas and Kevin Taylor and Dr. Wren, when they talk harsh, that's the language our leaders understand. Not just MPP, all political party leaders. That's the leaders. They know the truth, the real truth, but they don't act on it until somebody insults them or say something harsh, like Baka woman is saying. Then they say, hey, this guy treasonable offense. Which you can't treasonable? He's telling you truth, you say treasonable. Treason for what? You condemn the Ghana military. Ghana military itself is quiet because they are all political military government at the moment. It's not fair.
But why would the government prefer to be insulted before it stands on its feet?
Because we are Africans, because we are black people. Because we are black people. For black people, no go think until you think for him. So many wrongs going on. Nobody is brave to say anything. Look at Council of State. Recently, somebody rubbished them as hopeless. They are not doing anything like Council of State must say. None of the Council of State members has come out to say that NDC or MPP government, you are doing things wrong. Get your act together. What's wrong? The fear. There are multi allowances a woman, that's all. Woman should say, I saw for Krankasa, I hear for Krankasa.
You can still stay on the line. May I know who's on the line, please?
Dr. Morton,
Oh, Segabu. Okay, so yes, I can hear you live. Segabu.
Chairman Yosen?
Oh, good morning, Segabu.
Okay.
How are you, sir?
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Segabu, you live on air. I'm sure you want to react to what Chairman Yosen has poured down this morning.
I just got access to that. I don't know the previous things, but I heard him say that have they been able to deliver all the promises? I want to focus on the word all.
Yeah.
Chairman Yosen is saying that have they been able to deliver all? It means they have delivered some, isn't it?
Of course, yes. They have delivered some, but very few.
You can never have any government in any given country on this planet who can deliver all. The only place we can deliver all, I think, is in heaven. Nobody can deliver all. Are we able to give everything to our children when they ask for anything? We can't deliver all because the resources itself is limited. Our wants and needs. This is economics. Our wants and needs are many. So how can we deliver all? We can't.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I will interrupt you like that. I want the politicians. Yeah, forget about Nanado. I want the politician who stand on the platform to say, we will promise this, that, but we cannot deliver all, and see if people will vote him. They will vote for him.
Can the government deliver all? Can everybody get job to do? No.
So
The
when
resources are always limited.
I
Yes.
don't think Segabo, you can hear Chairman. So Chairman, what I'll do is if you will stay and listen to it and then come back and then react to what Segabo has on the floor. I'm sure he's reacting to a few things. I can see Joe also calling. The line is a bit busy.
Okay, I'll get off the
Yes,
line. And
let me-
I'll advise Sagabo that I beg him.
No, he can't.
And
That's what I'm saying.
and
He-
his government.
He can't even
I
hear
bet-
you. That's what I'm saying. You have to
Okay,
get off
okay,
the
okay.
line and listen to him backstage. As I put Segabo on. Okay, Segabo. Now Segabo, you've got the floor, so you can.
Yes.
Yes, you got the floor. You live on there. Go on, play.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Segabo. You go on, and then when you finish, Chairman will also hear you.
The lines are very faint here. I can this.
Oh, so you can't hear me, Segabo?
No, now I can hear. Now I can hear. I
Yes,
can hear
go
you.
on.
Now I
You're
can
live
hear
on there now.
you. What I'm saying that no government can deliver all in any given country,
Okay.
and people must always bear in mind where you are coming from.
Okay.
People must bear in mind where you are coming from. The government cannot deliver all, especially from developing countries such as Ghana.
Mm.
Even most advanced countries. Look now. Look, just listen to news coming from CNN America. How
Mhm.
do Americans feel about Joe Biden? How do they feel about him? With all the vast resources, they
Mm.
think he has not delivered all as
Okay.
he promised. No government can deliver all.
Mm.
And again, I'm shocked about Chairman Yossin's.
Joe, please hold the line for me. Unfortunately, I don't think you can hear Segabo, but whatever it is, you hold the line. Unless you want to listen on the radio, and then maybe I'll call you back or maybe you stay on the line. The thing is, if you stay on the line, you wouldn't hear what Segabo is saying. So if I were you, you will listen now, or you hold the radio and then go back and listen and then come back, or maybe I'll call you when he's done.
You call me when you're done.
Okay, thank you very much for your understanding. All right, Segabo, you're live there.
And again, one thing I'm most shocked and disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm shocked and disappointed, but I'm not surprised because I know how Chairman Yossin speaks, and I know his perception about the current government. Chairman Yossin has lived in this country more than 30 years, or even more, according to his own announcement on the radio, long before some of us came here. And I know he's full of liberal ideas. He's full of enlightened ideas here. He seems to be much more enlightened than most people that even come to the radio. And then he is saying that somebody in Ghana, a Ghanaian, who has come here to study in Cambridge, one of the top universities here, who is now insulting Ghanaian military men that they are useless because they have failed to stage a coup against the Ghanaian government. And Chairman Yossin want to tell Ghanaians, and people listen to him, that the person who has said this is quite courageous. And when people are just disagreeing with him, you know what Chairman Yossin is saying, that people must find out why the guy said that. Hello, Mr. Yossin. Somebody put it, if you live with your parents and they keep on leaving money on the table and the child steals the money, we don't want to blame the child that he's going to be a thief in future. He must stop doing that. But we are rather blaming the parents for leaving the money on the table. Can we say that after we have people wake up early in the morning, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. to go and queue and vote for election and elect a leader, there's a Ghanaian who has had the opportunity of coming to live in this country with all the liberal ideas. And that same person go back to Ghana and tell the Ghanaians that the military men in Ghana, the soldiers, the security men are all useless. Why? Because they have no use their energy to go and overthrow the government. And Chairman Yossin, who lives here in Britain, says that guy is very brave and he's a courageous man. Is that how we define somebody who's brave and courageous? Doing the wrong thing. Somebody doing the wrong thing, giving a wrong signal, and that person is courageous man. Hey, is that how we build a country? Is that how we build a country? To what extent have all the military coup d'etat in Ghana contributed to our economy, to our welfare? Can that boy who said that, can he say that here in this country? Can Oliver make that statement he has been making in Ghana, here in this country, landing here?
But Segabo, can I ask you very simple?
The British government, Boris Johnson's government,
Can you make this statement in this country, London here?
Yeah, so
And
that
go
is what,
scot-free?
Segabo, can you listen to me 1 minute, please?
I'm
What
going
I'm
to listen to
saying
you.
is, okay,
Yes.
so you put across, I want to read it to your hearing, though you wrote it. You said, where is your statement? I've read it already to the public hearing. Finally,
I didn't listen.
oh, you
Go
didn't
ahead.
listen. Okay, let me take you back. Say, with regard to the freezing of Sir John's assets, I'm really shocked that somebody's private will and testament has now become a public commodity for consumption. I mean, I don't want to go on and on. I've read it already, but
Yeah.
it all says that this is a private affair. How is that private if a man attains a will that is a government asset?
Have you finished?
No, I can't read all because this is
Okay.
this is just
Let me
the gist of the
react.
whole
Let me react.
those.
You see, let me react.
Mm.
With regard to Sir John's issue now, that is just going around in Ghana, what is shocking to me is the fact that somebody's private will should come to the public domain like that. So I was posing the question that, are we now saying that in Ghana, everybody's will must come to the public domain for people to kick in it as a political football? I'm not talking about the contents, because after the contents of 75 properties that people are saying that Sir John has acquired, I cannot stand here because I'm not privy to it. And there's no, Mr. Yosin speaking there is not privy to it. Not even the special prosecutor can even say for now that everything is okay or is correct. The fact that that thing is outside there in law, you're a law student. Dr. Morton, I know you're a law student. You can never say this in any law class that yes, it's true. That thing has not even gone. Nobody has done any investigation. Because of the fact that the information is outside there, Ghanaians should believe, yes, it is true. Because people are saying that Sir John has acquired some part of Atimata Forest, yes, you must say it is true. When no investigation has been undertaken. So for the contents, you know what? I ended up, let's wait for the outcome of the investigations. I've studied law, and the law that I studied does not tell me that. When I hear something like that, I say it's true. We cannot be running a country like that based on rumor and hearsay. The fact that even the things outside there, somebody's signature is. Who tells me that that signature there is a your signature? Look at the dates and all those things. Yes. Yeah, and the people talk about 75 properties. Have anyone who has confirmed that Sir John has 75 properties? Who has confirmed that? Who has confirmed that?
I think I
actually
agree
he
with
has
you.
75 properties
I
before he
think
died?
I agree with
Who
you,
has confirmed
Segabo,
that?
because this one nobody has proven that. It's all come and have become a hearsay that I myself. Okay. Yes. So
My brother, do you remember when they said that Nando's former secretary, Eugene Ahin, has bought 1/4 of Accra, and his
yeah,
wife
Joe,
was
stay on the
divorcing
line.
with the
But can
wife?
you hear Segabo, Joe, please?
Sorry?
Okay, good. Yeah,
Hello?
go on. See, Joe called
Yes.
and Nana, he's also listening. Go on.
Yes. Eugene Ahin has bought 1/4 of Accra of all the houses. He had a problem with the wife. I think they were divorced and they were just talking about property. Eventually, the wife came to confirm that. In fact, he is sorry. It was in one house. The man even had not finished completing the house. But Ghanaians were told that that man owed 1/4 of Accra, about 32 houses. Is it the first time people tell lies in this country that some of us don't know? We follow what's going in Ghana. So nobody will come and tell me because the thing is outside, the thing is out in the public domain. I should believe it is true. Is that how we are going to think now? That anytime anybody says anything,
whether it's true
anytime
or
any
not,
information comes out
whether
outside,
it's
it is
true or
true.
not.
Let's take it. The little law that I studied does not tell me like that.
Okay.
Nah, even common sense does not tell me like that. Anybody says anything about anybody, it's true. And then we're just kicking out here and there. It's like a political football. Let's wait for the outcome of the investigation. That's what I'm saying. Nobody is standing here to condone and connive with public officers to come and plunder Ghanaians' resources. Then all the things I've been writing over the years, I should stop writing. I will not stand here and condone and connive with any public official, whether he's come from my hometown, whether he's my brother, my cousin, and then say that yes, it is
or
right.
whether it's
All I'm
or
saying
whether
is
it's
that we should, we should allow the investigation to so that we can make a genuine conclusion about that.
Okay.
Not that the thing is outside, because the place is always in public domain. Let's believe it. Is that how you're going to run a country? Somebody said that let's stage a coup to overthrow the government because the military people in Ghana are useless. And then somebody said, oh, this is a man is courageous one. Is that how you're going to run Ghana now? And especially from somebody who lives in the country with all these liberal ideas. Can we say this in this land in here?
Okay, so Gabo, can I ask you before I pick Joe, can I ask you this question?
Yes.
Most of the things you forward to perhaps myself or any other person who is interested in politics, especially when you get them from back home, whether it's true or not, do you assess it and see whether it has basis, or do you just forward it to people?
Listen. You see, I do a lot of WhatsApp articles because of the legal implications about anything that you say and you do. Anything that you say that you do, I'm very careful about things. If I write a WhatsApp article and I say that $35 million was spent on a commended sugar factory and not a single sugar was produced, who doesn't know in Ghana that is true? Who doesn't know? And they're even defending it. They talk about it at almost all the stations. NDC defending that, oh, it is true. How come that our former president was saying that he did A-level economics, and therefore he knew that when you spend money on that, you should have gotten them the raw materials, and therefore the little A-level economics that he studied tells him that if you are talking about location for industry, you must consider the raw materials. The former president himself has come down to defend why he spent the amount of money and the fact that he could not even provide the raw materials to feed that industry. So whatever I want to say, I'll listen to the thing that is on the ground that people know
whether it makes
out
sense
there,
or
confirmed,
not.
debated. Sir John's issue has just come out. It just come out. And no one has confirmed anything.
Yeah.
Just
the
within
week
5,
is
6
not
weeks.
enough to conclude.
5, 6 weeks. Just come out.
Okay.
And we are running it.
So,
as if it's true.
Gabo, I think it's the same thing you're talking. The only what you are trying to say is that we should make sure we have the basis for it before we join or conclude. I've got
Yes,
Joe on
and
the
then
line.
Finally, before I go,
Okay.
my issue on the Ukraine, Russia, I think people are dying a lot in Ukraine, and therefore we need much more of diplomacy, more than sanctions. The sanctions are not working, and they're having an impact on everybody. Petroleum prices are going up, and supply chains problems, and people are dying in Ukraine. I think the world leaders, we need much more diplomacy than sanctioning to sort out this problem.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning. Good afternoon. No, good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Doc.
How are you? Yes, Gabo, you can stay on the line. And the line, okay, it's gone. How are you, Uncle Joe?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And yourself?
Not too bad. Have you gotten yourself any English breakfast, or you just like my boys who knocked 2 balls of cake already?
I never forget my Ghanaian heritage. So
Okay.
I'm a Ghanaian.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. And see,
I'm an Nzema, so you know what I like.
yes, sir. Have you Acheke Empire, right? Have you gotten anything like that? Not yet.
Yeah, probably yes. Yeah.
Okay. You're like Ediamo, Moachu.
Hey, don't come and test my lack of understanding my own language.
Oh, you see, so you don't have a good trace of your language. How can you have the good trace of this government?
You see, let me go on before you give me more trouble. First of all, good morning to you and your producers, as well as Sir Gabo and Mr. Kitios. And I think for once, I mean probably not for once, but today I kind of respectfully agree with Sir Gabo on many of the issues. One that I disagree with him is the issue regarding Sir John, because I mean, from his statement, he said he has studied a little bit of law. And from my ignorance in law, I know that a will is a legal binding. A will is something produced out of legal, context. So for a will to be brought up, it has gone through the legal mill and kind of passed the test of the legal status before it can be produced. And so for someone to say he has willed this, willed that, it is something that is not for political expediency that we will come and discuss that I have this or I have that. These are things that are legally binding. So Why would someone just say that it is not true? It is not a fact. And that say John has willed these things. This is something that has gone through the legal process. Because a will be produced by a legal luminary. Am I lying? You can educate some of us. He said he has done law, so he should know that before a will is produced, you need a legal, person, expert to produce that. Mm-hmm. And you cannot just go to a legal person and say that you own heaven when he cannot see something to attest to that.
Yeah, you're going.
A legal You cannot. A legal person will never put in that you own the air we breathe when he knows he cannot have anything vivid to prove to it that yes, you own the air. So for everything that is in Sir John's will, it has gone.
Yes, sir. Please stay on the line if you can hear. Joe's on the line, so you can stay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the other thing is that where I agree with Sir Gabo, and I respectfully agree with him for what he has said. Look, we are Ghanaians. No matter what, Ghana comes first. We cannot begin to say we love Ghana more when we say stupid things about the country, and then we go out there to say that we are trying to project that we love Ghana more than any other person. Like he rightly said, Baka Vomawo, or whatever his name is, has lived in UK here. Ghana gave him a platform for him to stand on to get admission into a top-notch university in UK, and for him to kind of profess a coup d'etat and all that kind of things. Yes, sometimes we all get emotional and we wish, but you see, when you cannot say that in UK, you cannot say that in Afghanistan or Pakistan or whatever. You think saying it in Ghana, it's a luxury to say it in Ghana and go scot-free. For that one, I disagree. And even for them wanting to stage a demonstration, and you read the letter they sent to the police, that you want to go and to go to GBC and broadcast a message to the nation. Are you the president? Are you the president? And when you know that this is a person who has said that he wants to stage a coup, and then he also wants to go and broadcast a message to the nation, what message is he going to broadcast to the nation? And since when did our laws include that if you stage a demonstration, you should go to GBC to broadcast a message? Since when did that right go to us? So we should not just, yes, we know Nana Akufo-Addo is failing. He has failed, but that is a fact. But people say that don't use your poverty to say stupid things. And step by step, you hear and can't question yourself. The fact that Nanado is failing does not mean we should say everything. That everything is good. We have to say it. Nanado has failed. He's still failing, and he will fail woefully. And I think I've said, even if you give him 10 years, if you give Nanado 10 years, he will never take this country anyway.
What is your basis? Are you saying you don't think they would deliver because of the number of years he's been in power, with about 5 years coming up to 6 years?
He's been in power for, let's say 5 years. And you cannot talk of even a hand coup that this man has put out there. That is even his own promise to God, he has not been able to deliver. And so I think Mr. Kitiosin gave Gabo a kind of a pathway to suppress his argument, because he said he has done and he has not been able to fulfill all, and Gabo used that to kind of suppress Mr. Kitiosin's argument. But the truth of the matter is that this man has not done anything. You see, when you say someone has done something, that is good. You are looking at from the beginning to the end. Free SHS, yes, he said he started it. Yes, we give him the credit. How has it ended? How is it going? This is where we base the argument on. You understand? Now, if you look at Pep Guardiola versus whoever, Jose Mourinho, whoever, he said, he started the league, yes, he won the league. He has achieved a result. So if you begin something, you cannot end, and the thing is bata, nobody knows red light, green light, yellow light, blue light. Where do you give him credit? The only thing Akufo-Addo has done best, and I will praise him for, is the TV in Ghana. Is the TV in every sector.
And don't forget, we've got a lot of, he's given us a lot of public toilets.
That is MPP's trading stock.
But you missed that. At least the country, you know, we have somewhere to defecate ourselves if there's the need be. So it's done something at least.
The TV is the only thing Akufo-Addo has done best, and we've seen it. Yeah, Segabo was talking about Eugenia. You see, Segabo, sometimes you see, I am looking at, I believe in the Ghanaian, but I am looking at the option where people like special prosecutor or even the IGP, if we have to kind of import these people, if we have to import them into the country, and by that I mean that we have to get a person who has no kind of allegiance to Ghana. We can bring in a British expert, an American expert, or whatever expert, so that when an investigation comes, I will know that this investigation is true. You are talking about Eugene Ahin. Eugene Ahin's wife. They went there to beg Eugene Ahin's wife and say, oh, because we will give you everything, but you go and retract what you said, and then you get what you want. You are talking about Eugene Ahin's wife. How? The woman is not mad. The woman is not crazy. She came out to list out the properties Eugene Ahin has acquired within the 2 years.
But then you agree that no government can deliver all its promises?
Yeah, but then you see, if you look at John Mahama, take John Mahama for instance, there are things you can pinpoint to. You can talk of Terminal 3, John Mahama, E-Block, John Mahama. You can talk of a lot of things. What can you say about Akufo-Addo that he has started and ended?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying then. Well, what you're saying, like I said always, that is a comparative statement. It's done better than Akufo-Addo in your observation, but then he promised more than he has done. That is Mahama. Mahama promised more. At least you can say that he has delivered 50% of what he promised. Yeah, but the issue is no one has.
We are not talking about delivering. No, he has delivered them. He delivered
but
them.
Not all. But not all.
Not all.
Yes.
But Akufo-Addo is not even in the process of delivering any of his.
We're not saying a government delivering at least something, but a government that is not possible to deliver, not even in America or United Kingdom.
Dr. Martin.
Yes.
When we say
we appreciate the fact that it's delivered, but
when we say make your assessment of the government, you say, oh, you are a journalist, you don't want to be aligned to. So you give me let me go on with my this thing, because you are trying to defend the government.
I'm not trying to give men. All I'm saying is that it is true. It is true. You and I know very well it is true that no government can deliver all. Uncle Joe.
Yeah, you see, you cannot deliver all.
Yes.
But the fact is that everybody, irrespective of the biases everyone has, someone, even
will do better than the other.
Most biased person,
yes,
will say that at least Boris Johnson, he delivered Brexit. You understand? No matter how you hate him,
I agree with you. With that,
but
I agree with you.
There's nothing you can even his own people, Segabo and the rest, cannot. If you give Segabo the whole time, your 2 or 3 hours of programming.
Anyway, today we'll add another 30 minutes to it because we didn't start early, so we'll finish around 12:30.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is that Akufo-Addo has failed woefully.
Okay.
And it is about time Segabo and the rest, talk to him and say, Segabo, please, I know you and Sir John come from the same town. I know probably he's your best friend. And I know probably you are doing all these things because you want to be called so that you can also own half of the Kole Lagoon. But you see, you have also lived in UK here. That's why you were accusing Mr. Kitiosin of living in the UK. You've lived in UK here. Nobody from the Boris Johnson government can will to himself Buckingham Palace, a section of Buckingham Palace, and then you come and tell me that we need an investigation before we can. I mean, you have also lived here. You to justify it, try to justify it. Please, we've all lived in UK. Whether you've been here 1 year or 2 years or 10 years, right is right in this country. Wrong is wrong in this country. Why can't it be done in Ghana? Why can't we all, just for once, say, and I've said that, look, for Nana Addo to deliver, it will take the lives of Segabo. to speak true to him, for him to deliver. But the moment whereby Nanado is failing and Segabo is praising him, MPP people are all praising him, he will never deliver because he's being praised. And that is our problem. And that does not go only to the MPP, it also goes to the NDC. I am saying that if the NDC wants me
yes, Segabo, stay on the line for me. Now, Joe is saying that he agrees with the fact that the fact that one needs a better basis to be able to confirm or conclude in some of the stories we hear. With that, he agrees with you. But then with the say John's issue, in as much as we have not here in the UK gotten any basis of that, sometimes it's come out, and then it's not possible that they can come out with this conclusion that he owns certain things which belongs to the government without any false basis. You know, this is what he's saying, but then I don't think he will hear you, because what I'm going to do is that when he ends, you stay on the line. When he ends, then I'll get you to answer it. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So
I can hear him. I can hear him. If
okay, Isaiah can hear you. So you want to go ahead?
Then I'll rebut whatever he says.
You see, I use the expression that I will not sit in this country and be writing a lot of things
without any basis.
We see so many things, and then also condone and connive with Ghanaian politicians or Ghanaians who do wrong things. I don't think I would do so. That's not my principle, that because somebody comes from my hometown, whatever it is. So I should condone and connive if the person does something wrong. I can't say that. All that I'm saying is that I was very shocked is that why should someone's private work come out? Who will leak it? Is it going to be the way we're going to run the country? That if Joe were to do his will, Joe were to live in Ghana, and he prepares his will, after Joe's demise, or anybody's my demise, or Dr. Morton's demise, or Chama Yosin's demise, the person's will comes out, whether you're a private person or not. Is it going to be the practice? It's not even, we are not talking about because he's a politician. Is it the case that somebody's private will must come out? That's what I pose. And then I said that with regard to the contents, the 75 properties people were saying that he owns in Ghana, people were angry. The fact that he owns part of Achimota forest, that people were angry. Is it genuine? Is it true?
It's funny how one owns Achimota part of Achimota forest.
Is everything in the world true? Is it true? Is the word that the word that is come out, the paper that shows that it's a John's will? Is it his will? Actually, his will? You can't. Is it his will? Is it because it's out? Yes, it is his will. Yes, he has 75 properties. Yes, you must believe it. Yes, you must run with it. Is it the case? Is that how we're going to run the country? Something has just come out in the last 4 weeks. It has now been given to the special prosecutor. Do we have to accept it and run with it and start insulting, insinuating? Is it the way we're going to do the politics in Ghana? Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not standing here to condone and connive with any wrongdoing that have been done anywhere. And has anybody accused Sir John that
I'm going to get Joe to react to that, because this is a question. But from where you are, the problem is maybe when what he's going to say Gabo will not be able to hear. So that's what I'm wondering, because you're on the line and then say Gabo. Okay, when you say, then I'll say it to say Gabo. Go on.
I think Gabo has raised, and I've said it on another platform, he has raised another moral issue. Is it right for someone's will to be kind of, on public domain? Yes. Which is very true. Which is very true. It is wrong in the first place. But then, since we have the law, which says that before you take up a public position, you need to kind of expose your whatever, your properties and all that. Then I think it falls in line. Because if he had declared his asset, it will be in the public domain, wouldn't it? It will be in the public domain. And the same way, if he exits power, we would also know that when he was assuming office, these were his his assets. Now he has exited public office, these are his assets. So we can judge him on that. So for that one, probably, I don't know about Sir John's position, if it's in that domain whereby you have to kind of declare your assets. But then also, in as much as I do not agree with the you know, the discussion of Sir John's will of his personal thing, it then also, I think this thing should embolden us to strengthen our law so as to enforce that the law of declaring assets has to be fully enforced, and people have to respect that, and failure to do that should lead to prosecution. Because if people are just coming to occupy public office without declaring their assets, and then later someone goes in there or he does something wrong and someone leaves his properties out, and we begin to ask, hey, how come within 2 years, within 1 year? You see, you are bringing this burden upon yourself. If he had declared his assets, I mean, if truly Sir John owns all these things and he rightfully owned them, I mean, what will be the problem? If today, Dr. Martin, I'm in UK, I'm working hard, I'm buying land 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm supposed to declare it when I'm supposed to take a public office. What's wrong with it? I should be bold to declare my assets. I should be bold to tell you what I've got. But it's the ill intentions behind it that is making them not declare their assets, and that is the evil we find in this situation. So I want to suggest today that, look, let us enforce that law, and let us kind of put a criminal clause on it that failure to do that will lead to a criminal prosecution, and that you will never ever be entertained in taking any public office again, and then you have to serve a certain jail term. I think if we do that, these are the deterrents that will help us move forward. If not, next year, and I've told you, there are NDC people lining up today who are going to write a will after 2025. They are going to write a will that will be 10 times, you know, more lucrative than what Sir John has. Even for them, probably the sea will all be wool to them. They are lining up. They are hungry now. So they are lining up. All they want is power, so that they can also be willing unto themselves the Flagstaff House, and even maybe my mother's kitchen will be in their will. That is what is happening. Because it looks as if we bring in a thief, and then another thief comes out. That is what it looks as if we are doing, because someone develops a thought of having $1 million, another one comes to kind of acquire the real thing. That is not going to help us. That is not going to help us shape the future. And I am still insisting, Sir Gabo, I'm pleading with you. Hello, doctor, am I still on?
Listen, you are live on air. I can hear you live and clear.
If Sir Gabo can hear me, I am pleading with him.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Gabo, you are an enlightened voice in the MPP. At least for those people I know as members of the MPP, you are a very, very, very enlightened voice in the MPP. You have to lead that charge. We cannot have Ghana like this as it is going. We cannot have Ghana where every wrong is defended because we feel we are part of that party, or we are part of that family, or we are part of that tribe. Gabo, please lead this charge. Today, MPP is in power. Lead that charge. Spark up the brain to cause that change. Because if we are all going to be defending everything we defend, whether evil or whatever we defend it, how do you expect the NDC man to also come and kind of speak truth?
Okay, Joe, let me get him the information, because if you stay that at length, I wouldn't be able to recollect everything. Okay, Sir Gabo, Joy is saying that from his observation, it looks as if naturally you seems to be defending almost everything about NDC. He finds you very enlightened person within the NPP party. And so you have to take charge of certain things that needs to be addressed properly. Though you might have your views that some of the criticisms are no basis, Joe feels that some of the things are very obvious. And so that needs to be, done properly in the NDC, the NPP. He sees some of the things that the NPP is doing as compared to Mahama. As I said, that yes, you are right to say that the government cannot deliver everything in court. Everything, yes. I mean, I was even insisting, and he feels I'm defending the NPP or maybe you, but I made him understand, which he admits that not even Clinton or Obama deliver everything in America. But then if you got some of the things that needs redressed and that you have to take charge in admitting those things.
Okay.
Yes.
My response.
Can you hear him, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go on.
My response. To begin with, if Ghanaians, how many voters, Ghanaians who voted voted in 2016, 2020? Why did they vote Donaldo on a second term? Why?
They might have their own individual reasons. We wouldn't know.
It's because they find that Donaldo has some of the promises he made.
Don't forget, Chairman, don't forget, Mr. Chairman, Sir Gabo, I want you to believe that it's varieties of parties. NPP voters must have voted for him, but the minority or the NDC must have the otherwise thoughts. But as far as I'm concerned, he is one, so we can say that. But it's not as if all Ghanaians voted for Akufo-Addo. Am I making sense?
No. But if you're talking about two parties, the NDC
or other parties, not everybody voted for Akufo-Addo.
And Donaldo should have more than 51%.
It's only a majority sense. That's all.
Yes, it tells you what Ghanaians, it tells you about their thinking. They thought he delivered more promises as he delivered according to the promise that he made. Donaldo talk about the free HS. Did he do that? Yes, he did that. He promised bringing special prosecutor. He did that. Yes, he did that. He promises 1D, 1F, 1 district, 1 faction. Yes, we have about 109 districts now. But those Ghanaians who have believed that they don't want to know that Donaldo has done anything, they will continue to say that Donaldo hasn't done anything. But 109, 1 district, 1 factory is still thriving. It's going on. Those who want to believe, let them believe. Those who don't want to believe, no one can compel them to believe. We talk about the importation of even ambulances, common ambulance, NDC could not even deliver. These are dollars, these are money. Import ambulances. They could not even import common ambulances. They could not even import.
Okay, so Joe, at least if you want to hear one thing that
I think
NPP has done,
to,
at least you said NPP has done nothing. And the ambulance provision, what about that? At least it's done something. Apart from the only observation that makes you think it's only the toilet facilities the NPP has produced.
We need to be honest in our
at least you agree with Segabo, don't you? That it's done that.
With all due respect, we need to be honest in the politics that we do. You see, in as much as for me, I'm very emotional and all that, but we need to be very honest. I think Segabo, respectfully, NDC delivered ambulances. Respectfully, just recently there were issues about the ambulances and the cost of blah 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 blah, which it was being taken to the special prosecutor for some 1 or 2 findings. But you see, the reason why I threw all this challenge to say Gabo, you see, we had the issue of SAL, the people of SAL. You remember during the 2020 election, they were denied the right. Their God-given right or whatever, the constitutional given right to vote. They were denied that right. Just recently, about a week ago, we saw what happened in Ashanti region, in the MPP, primaries or chairmanship regional election. How Tescon and whatever people were denied the right to vote. If Gabo was bold enough to come and say that denying the people of South their constitutional rights, if he was able to say it was wrong, today you could have found a loud voice in condemning what happened in Ashanti region. But you see, I was thinking even before he started his statement, he would have apologized for what happened and would have said, look, that was unwarranted, uncalled for, and unnecessary to deny some people. But you see, he couldn't do that. This is what I'm saying. These are the problems. When we defend everything, when it is you was saying A time will come and there you feel the pain.
Okay, so let me translate. They say the SARS that the government was not allowed to. Is that what you're saying, Joe?
The people of South denied, the right to vote.
Yeah, the people of South denied the right to vote. He was expecting you by then to have said something concerning that attitude, but you didn't say anything. I mean, that's why he's saying that some of the things that he expects you as a concerned MPP who is very factual in its dealings to have come out and at least condemn that or to have apologized on behalf. But then you didn't say anything. These are some of the things. Otherwise, it's all I said. Yeah, could be a
Oh, is he saying that because some people were not allowed to vote, that is why maybe NDC lost? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, he's saying it in the sense of not an appropriate act, not to have allowed them to vote.
Oh, I think he's just trying to take his head. He's trying to find the reasons why maybe NDC lost.
Oh,
maybe
no.
he's trying to find.
Well,
and that look at the first one, 2016, was 1 million vote difference. We've never seen this in that country before. And the second one, what of 500,000, half of a million. Not even the second one, just one touch.
Okay, let me.
How much confidence the Ghanaian people have in Nanado's government? It tells you how much confidence. So he talking about the fact that some people were disenfranchised, they were not allowed. It's quite negligible. I don't think it was a fact. People knew that. The NDC MPP government, with all its faults, with all its setbacks, had delivered more than what NDC did.
Now I've cut Chairman out of the conversation because our phone line is limited. What I'm trying to do is to get your numbers to the skyline next time when we come in, so we can all get you staged on the line instead of some of them listening at the background. Yeah, I thought I'm going to 12:30, but I think I'm tired. I've got a bit of things to do, so maybe I'm going to each of you 5 minutes to round up, and then hopefully we're here next Friday, right? So. If you want to finally, Joe, say Gabo, you land, and I'll come back to Joe, and then we round it up. Okay.
When you come back home, people were saying that some of the things that we even for a boy I taught O-level economics. He also went to university to do economics, but then he was talking to me. So say the MPP, Nana was disappointed that he said, "I'm so wow, somebody I taught to say this to me." Let me say this. The reason why when you call home, people are saying that they are disappointed, is based on the fact that when Muhammad was in government, the NDC government, they mess up a lot, especially for doing so 4 years of doing so. The banking system, the fact that Muhammad government withdrew the trainee teachers and nurses training allowance. People were angry, something that they have not experienced before. The fact that the government spent about $35 million refurbishing Commander Factory, not a new one. They were just refurbishing. They spent a whopping $35 million, but no Ghanaians saw any single cube of sugar. People were disappointed. So let me say this. The disappointment among Ghanaians was so huge that they were expecting a lot from Nanado. So the Ghanaians' own expectation was much higher than Nanado's promises. I repeat, the average Ghanaian's own expectation from Nanado's government was much higher than what even Nanado promised. That is why today, in spite of all the NPU has done, people think that he has not done much. That's why people say, "Oh, you're disappointed." But let me say this: Ghana is a $68 billion economy. Our GDP is even less than 70 billion. It's $68 billion economy. We are middle income status, a lower income middle income status, and therefore no matter what you do, the trickle down effect of the economics on the Ghanaians cannot be felt as we were expected to be felt. It is still a lower income status of only $68 billion. And therefore, the per capita income is just negligible. People should not expect that to be felt in the pockets and in the lives of Ghanaians, as we have all expected. If you call Nanado, he will be the first person to admit that, no, this is not the kind of standard of living I want for Ghanaians. But Umia will say that, Vonata will say that. It's all because We are still a developing country. And people must have patience. It takes time. It takes time. But whatever it is, the government is doing its best. What is much more fascinating that every child is going to school and the money that could have gone to somebody's pocket is being spread over Ghanaians. So today, a day student who go to school, go to the dining hall to eat with the boarding students for breakfast. After school has finished around 1:32, when the day student is going home, he goes to the dining hall and eat with the boarding students in the school, in any school in Ghana. And other things time may not permit me to talk about. So I'm saying that the reason why Ghanaians seems to be disappointed by now is the fact that our own expectation was much higher than what even the country's resources can produce. It takes time. And whatever it is, MPP is far better than NDC.
Okay.
No matter what angle anybody looks at it.
Okay, Joe, you heard Segabu. With his observation, your uncle Segabu has made a pronouncement that whatever anybody thinks, his basis, his observation, his calculations, and it doesn't matter whether you can pinpoint a hand on what NPP or NDC has done. As far as he's concerned, NPP as delivered or as better in his eyes than this is what I'm saying. All these pronouncements, it's an individual assessment. And so I can have 5 minutes from you. Let's end it. Let me get chairman.
First of all,
thank you very much.
Let me thank you.
If I were you, Segabu, I'll go and listen on the radio, Joe's last submission, because when he talk, you can't hear. And then I'll get chairman.
Certainly, I will listen.
No, you can't hear him here. Say Ontin and Kasa in Tinka.
My greetings to Joe and Chairman Yossi.
Okay, sir.
And everyone who's listening to us.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, so Joe, let's shoot with your last word, and then I'll get Chairman to come in.
First of all, let me thank you for giving me an opportunity. I've always said I am not the best among the many Ghanaians living in the UK and elsewhere. But it is by God's grace and through yourself that I have had this opportunity to also express my view.
Oh yeah, of course.
These are not in any way to show disrespect to anybody or to kind of
it's just views. It's just
say words that are untoward, to people. But you see, say Gabo, in as much as he's my father, yes, and it will only take a father and a son to have a little bit of a banter, which is right in some sense, But I disagree with him totally on what he's saying. When it comes to the NDC,
that the NPP.
In the beginning, I agreed with him on the Bakabamawas things and his utterances and all those kind of things. Right. But his last, his summary, I disagree with him on almost everything. Now, because he is blinded by his political lines, I am going to give him the true picture as to why Ghanaians are disappointed. In John Mohammed's government, as incompetent as they made us to believe, someone developed a thought of having $1 million before she quit politics. Comparing and contrasting that to Nana Akufo-Addo's government, people are stealing that $1 million left, right, and center every day. In John Mohammed's government, when people were making us believe that there was a little bit of insecurity, and today, insecurity even is in the Flagstaff House. Insecurity is in the Flagstaff House. You know why? We know the story of Sewa Bruni. We know the story of Sewa Bruni, where the Flagstaff House even sent people to go and rob civilians. It is from the Flagstaff House. Now, we're talking about thievery in government. It was alleged that Mahama has bought a hotel in Dubai, which never happened. He himself said, if I have a hotel in Dubai, go for it. Now, 6 months Akufo-Addo assumed office here in Ghana. His daughter, his first daughter, go and check the house he bought in London here. Gabo knows about it. I am not the one to say. Go and check. 6 months. When Nanado was doing La Lansula Live 6 months before, after that 6 months, when Nanado assumed office, Go and ask the house Nanado's daughter has been able to acquire. The TV is every day going on. So when Segabo is saying Ghanaians are disappointed because of the expectation, it is not that. Nanado has doubled every evil that were perceived under Mahama. But under Nanado's government, the evil is real. It is not even a perception anymore. Now it is reality. The evil is reality. That is why Ghanaians are disappointed.
Okay.
Ghanaians thought Nanado, having lived in the UK and France and all that, having had the opportunity of being born with a silver spoon, he was going to come and change something. Nanado comes, and all he says is that Ghanaians owe his father. And so he has to amass everywhere. We know of a Japa, we know of PDA. Under Mahama's administration, who heard of PDA? Who heard of a Japa? And these are the things I expect Segabo to talk about. That look, Segabo, yes, you are waiting for your call to be called and be given probably ambassador to Russia or Ukraine. Now that he is advocating for diplomacy, probably he needs an ambassadorial position to Ukraine so that he could
Joe,
that diplomacy.
I think you have to round up, please.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that Segabo and everybody, including the NDC, I know the NDC is going to form the next government come 2025. But I do not want to. Yes, it's a prophecy I'm giving.
Okay.
I am giving you a prophecy. NDC is going to win 2025.
Amen.
And it's going to be more than 2 million votes difference.
In Jesus' name.
I am telling you for a fact, yes. But what I am saying is that I don't want to be on this radio come 2025, if God willing, we are all alive, and be talking about the same evil thing that the NPP is doing. I expect the NDC man who has jotted down his will, that includes the sea in Accra and the Flagstaff House, please.
Well, so Segabo is saying that he has no idea that Nanado's daughter is having a house here in London.
Okay. How can
so we're going to need a proof from you.
He's blinded by the grace of Nanado, so he will never have an idea. So what I'm saying is that the NDC man who has put down the Flagstaff House as his asset, in his will, please erase it now. Take that out now, because we are not going to tolerate this anymore.
Okay, we have 1 minute, please. Let me get Chairman final.
We are not going to tolerate this anymore. Ghana needs to move forward.
Okay.
After independence, we need to get to a certain stage. We are tired of every day talking about the evils that go on, that corrodes the system. That should have made the system right, and because of that corruption, the system is stagnant. The system is not moving.
Oh dear.
We can do better. Children unborn can be paid. Children born can be paid. We can no longer be living in UK and your family members calling you for money if things are right. Ghana would be better. So the NDC guy who is planning to take position in 2025, you are being watched. You are being watched.
Okay, so Segabo has responded to you. I know that you're going to go on and on to answer his question. Don't worry. He's saying that it is not going to happen, and this is not going to win anything.
Let me tell you
a party. Let me finish. Is it a party that cannot even produce or import ambulances?
Segabo, I know your frustration. Segabo's frustration is that he wants MPP to be in power so that his appointment will come. Segabo, don't worry. Probably on the 5th of December 2024, they'll give you an appointment. One day after,
Segabo should get appointment in the MPP. We're done, man. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of money.
He's waiting. That's why he's so eager.
I go to church with Segabo and I meet him almost every weekend. So whatever party, if he wins anything, I'm sure we're going to get the benefits. Okay, gentlemen.
I'll even go to him if he gets. I'm praying. I'm going to do fasting and prayer for him to be appointed. Segabo, where you inbox me where you want, so I put it into my prayer.
When I win, at least we can get some chop.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway,
you make me your cleaner in your office.
Thank you.
I'll be there for you.
All right. So I'm going to get Chairman Yosin to have his final say, and then we'll be done with today's discussion. Thank you very much. Yes, Chairman.
Yes, Dr. Morton.
Yes, you must have listened to the two ranting over who wins the next election. That seems to be coming with prophecy from Joe, and Segabo turns that down. saying.
Oh, in fact, I didn't listen because I was on another Zoom meeting.
Okay, so Sir Gabo is saying, so Joe is saying that he has the feeling that the NDC is coming back with over 2 million votes. And then Sir Gabo is saying that a party that could not even pronounce a simple ambulance, I don't think they're coming back. And then I'm sure PPP, as you have third party, you think PPP is also coming back. Well, your final say about 5 minutes, and then we wrap up today, and then coming next Friday.
I think I'm very most grateful for this opportunity once again. I say hello to other Ghanaians, non-NDC and non-NPP members who are sympathetic to the cause of Ghanaians. Let me say this position clear. A third force is coming into the equation for 2024 general elections.
Amen.
And the whole thing is going to change from NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP. This is the last stage of that duopoly. We are going to break the duopoly. A third party is ushering into the scene. So I disagree with both sides that NDC is going to win by 2 million or it's a Gabo's assessment or NPP assessment. The whole thing is going to change now because we are sure that NPP has failed Ghanaians unless somebody who doesn't want to think about Ghana at all. Women failing on this NPP, and the way they are going to go down, you'll be surprised. I'm a season of prophecy. I'm telling you the true statement I'm making. So the way they put Nkrumah off for so many years, NPP is also going to go down in the same amount of years because we, the people of Ghana, gave them the opportunity. They are messed around. They couldn't do anything.
Oh dear.
They tell us Ashanti region is their what? Is a stronghold. This is a big understatement and a total disgrace. It is putting the Ashantis even in a bad light. With greatest respect, Ashanti is your stronghold. Just say Ashanti for stronghold, woman share MPP, sign a you. Dokumbe bebe no unamni. Fanciful. Dokun bebe go no unam chinam train needed side okono.
Well, I shot.
Do you understand? I do. So they are disgracing the Ashanti people and they are disgracing the NPP. They say Ashanti is their stronghold. Is that the best the NPP has given to Ghanaians? And are we happy? The structure that Nkrumah put in place is what all Ghanaians are enjoying. KNUST is there. The State House now, NPP for Nkrumah seat sat down and say, oh, no, it's not good, not good. They want to share the offices of the state officer, State House now. And people visit me in CJB down kwa buzi and no, it's a waste of fun. I want to that.
Okay.
So let me tell you, Ghanaians must be ready to support us. We are coming. The force is coming, springing up.
That is the PPP, right?
Not just the PPP and all other political parties. We are getting together to come and face this duopoly, to break it down. When we see they are breaking 8-year cycles, breaking cycle.
Okay.
They are joking. They are joking. So we are coming in. Third force is coming. So the conversation will be totally different. Ghana will be in a better place.
I hope PPP would be able to provide ambulances and that.
Of course, yes. Ambulance is not a problem.
Okay.
Ambulance is not a problem.
Chairman, I think that we'll end here. I know Sir Bugabu is still writing. When I give him the chance, he's going to write. Will not finish.
I tell him to write no more because there's no point. There's no point to keep him writing. All the promises they failed. Now the song Sir Gabo is singing, who can deliver all promises. But why did you promise? If you can't buy food for your children, why do you say I'll buy food for you? And when you come to eating, you say I haven't got anything. That's what NPP is telling us.
During Mama's government, common chalk wasn't even accessible.
It was a problem. You are right. It was a problem.
No matter what Chairman Yosin will say about MPP, but we'll break the 8 and say, please, Chairman, your passion and nostalgic feelings for Nkrumah, there will be no third force.
No. In fact, I'm not even prepared to even understand or read that. Do you understand? Seriously, who is the most serious MPP person today in government? Who is the serious person? The president himself has failed us.
Okay, I wish you all the best of the weekend. Hopefully, I see you next week, Friday. Do have
thank you. Bye.
Of the weekend.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Good of you. My brother, leave that girl. You know that she loves you just because of your money. Shut up.
It's been a very hectic weekend.
I say Elizabeth, but where you go? I say sweet Elizabeth.
Okay, so hopefully, as I said, I see you the next weekend. Do have a
every day. You know that I love you. Every day. You know that you love me. Every day. Elizabeth, my love, I want to stay with you. My love, only and me. My love, my God. My love, kill myself. Nana baby, soto pona yo diluluwe. Ouvre-moi la porte vraiment. Je suis au comble du désespoir. Oininga moyena kamwe minge. Songisela metondresse na pesa yo mama. Bato amabe bakoprofite mpo baseka biso e. Kikaboye mwana oyo nakoni kaka mokolo moko. Le sentiment le plus proche de l'amour, c'est la haine. Moto oyo alingaka makasi, yete aboyaka makasi. Tozalaki kuta lokola bana mapasa. Mapasi na bisengo nyonso tokabolaki. Na comprendre yo lelo ntina oboyinga. Obayenga komobulu elekanga. Nana baby, so